You have got to take a look at the NVIDIA charts following their earnings yesterday. I do have a longer video that I am preparing for my NVIDIA stock price prediction follow-up. Given the earnings that they have out, I'll give my full commentary and a numerical breakdown for you in a video by this weekend. I have a lot of the numbers already together. There's a few more that I want to put out there in terms of just a few things that I'm curious about, just to check out some history that might not necessarily make it to other people's analyses, and I really want to bring you that unique perspective. So I'll give a technical analysis look at NVIDIA. We'll see how things are shaping up immediately post earnings. I have not changed my bullish stance for that 12-month outlook of 155 to 170, at least not yet. I still am bullish. I still think that we're in the upward direction. I will update that as soon as I finish that full numerical breakdown for you. So let me put these charts up here. Not only will we do NVIDIA, but we'll also do SPY, QQQ, IWM, and then I also want to touch on Bitcoin and Tesla as well. So for NVIDIA, I took away all my drawings on this. They're still here, by the way. Close your eyes or squint maybe because, oh, that's ugly. In any case, what I want you to see is the price action with the moving averages. So I have the 200 period moving averages on here, the 200-day, and then the 50-day. And our pre-market price action puts us right at the 50-day. We're actually kind of sitting right on top of it. Now, if we lose that 50-day, I mean, this could actually be an amazing bounce point for us. Just so you know, there could be solid support that's right there. If we fall down beneath it, we want to watch and see for a retest. And on that retest, do we break it and head back higher like we did back here? Or do we hit our heads and fall back down and we tumble towards the 200-day? Well, why would we be moving like this in the first place? Why would we get a drop when they still had incredible earnings? Well, one thing that's put into question is future growth. And I don't mean future growth for like the rest of time for NVIDIA or the foreseeable future for the years coming. I just mean over the next 2 quarters. And so when I just look at that up to that Blackwell ramp, right now we're in between the Hopper series and the Blackwell platform. Blackwell platform is expected to ramp in Q4. I'm going to save a lot of this for my full analysis, but I will say that Wall Street is going to say, show me the money now. Tell me what's coming next quarter. Tell me what's coming for the end of the year. Let me know that growth is still accelerating. Let me know that it's still holding strong. And right now, even just listening to the tone of the NVIDIA earnings call, it sounded kind of hostile is the wrong word. It's way too strong. It sounded guarded on behalf of NVIDIA, and there were a lot of people, the analysts, when they were asking the questions of Jensen Huang and the NVIDIA team, it sounded like it was a lot of, okay, where's this money going to come from? What exactly is going to happen? And it was a lot of, wait and see. It's coming for it. So I think that Wall Street, if we do sell down in the near term on NVIDIA stock, I think that that's where some of that can come from. But like I said, I'll save more of that for my full analysis breakdown for you. Let me put the chart back up here. So we can bounce pretty strongly off of what we have here. We do need to put in a new high. We haven't done that yet. We had the high price back here following the last earnings. We had that in June, and then we had another peak coming along for us. I'm using a really touchy mouse at the moment here. That peak was on July 11th, which is about the time the market peaked. We had the sell-off all the way down through the carry trade, and then wonderful climb back up. Now, something that I want you to pay attention to, I'm going to put the mess back up here for you. I want you to look at the trend line off the peaks that I have here, because that trend line off the peaks has been acting as support for NVIDIA's price action. Then we're going to go down to the hourly chart. So watch for this diagonal line coming up for you. Oh, that's me. All right, so here it is. Let me put those up there. There we go. So look at this diagonal line coming down this way. Mind you, we are in a broadening wedge pattern. At some point in time, we probably will revisit this bottom trend line. It doesn't mean it is going to happen now. It doesn't mean that it is going to happen in the near future, but this is something that can have a bearish reversal at some point, but we don't know exactly when that's going to happen. I don't think that we break out of this formation for a while. So pay attention to this trend line that's cutting down through this way across your screen. And now we're going to go down to the hourly chart so we get a little bit more detail for the current price action for what's taking place. So what we can see for this is that my support zone in the after hours held up beautifully. These are wonderful technicals, and I can't wait to share them out at full scale. I really would like to get that going in September if I can get all the calendar stuff and the appointment setups going to do the personal trainings for this. So if you guys are interested in that, put that down in the comments. If you guys want to see what I currently have at the Patreon through the Discord, you can do that by using the link down in the description. Click that, sign up, head on over to the Discord, see my buys and sells, talk to my community members, see the technicals before they hit YouTube. So you get them much sooner. It's much easier to work with when you have those things ahead of time, especially throughout the trading day. And then if you want to learn more about technicals and trade the way that I do, use the bread recipe through Stockmo Academy. You could do so using that link down in the description. Make sure you sign up using the code word doctor. All right, let's move on into the specific pre-market price action. So we came down, found this wonderful support area, and then today coming back up, and we are sitting on top of the 50-day like I showed you, but we're now on the bottom side. This was that trend line that I was talking about before. It's been acting as wonderful support for us for the past several days, and now we're getting rejected on it as resistance. So if we stay below that, we could probably sell down a little bit more in the near term. In my opinion, I think longer term, that creates incredible buying opportunities from where we're at right now. Now, mind you, that's not financial advice. This is for me and my own personal situation. I don't know yours, and it's just not lawful. It's not legal for me to offer any financial advice, but I will give my take. I will share my thoughts and perspectives and my numbers with you. So, and my technicals, my goodness, look at them. They're beautiful. So we did hit that resistance. We got rejected off it. We're going to look and see if we end up at this support. I think that we possibly could. Really, really, really watch that trend line. You can draw it for yourself off the previous peaks and then off the bottoms of the most recent peak that we had, because this is the top of those peaks from the daily chart. We're kind of riding just beneath them, and now that the earnings happen, the trend line was riding just beneath them, and now that earnings happen, now we're hitting our heads on them. So breaking above that is actually really critical and really key to further bullishness. Staying below it, we could sell down a little bit further, and I don't know exactly how far down we would sell. I don't know that we would hit the bottom trend line that I showed you in that broadening wedge pattern. I don't know that we would hit our 200-day. I think it was still really good earnings. I think that there's still a lot of strength coming for us for NVIDIA. I think there's still a lot of growth to be seen. I do think that we might hit a bit of a lull period, but not too much of one. I don't think it's something that's going to be that tank the stock. I don't think it's going to go down to $50 or anything like that. But I do think that it's going to keep us from experiencing the kind of euphoria that sends us up to 150 over the next couple weeks. Instead, I think that it's going to keep us rocking in the low three figures here, that it's going to be in the low $100 range, I should say. So like 100 to 125, maybe in there. And we'll see what the market does overall, because the overall market bias is also going to impact the multiples. So if we get sell-off there, for instance, today, I'm recording this before GDP's out. So GDP, jobless claims, personal income and outlays. We also have a Fed meeting coming up in September. There's a lot of geopolitical risks that are out there. There's any number of things that can move the market downward from where it's at. Now, mind you, there's also things that can move the market upward from where it's at. So the more we hear Goldilocks, good. The more we hear recession, bad. So those are just other factors that we can consider, and that's for a different video. Let me just get to the other technicals for you quickly, and we'll wrap things up. Just to summarize, for NVIDIA, watch that trend line. Watch for what happens with the 50-day simple moving average. That's going to be very telling for near-term price action, and I'm just going to keep on saying I'll put out the full video when I have my full analysis done for NVIDIA, and trust me, it'll be great. So you should watch it. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that way you guys know the moment that it comes out. All right, so NVIDIA, short term, we got to see what happens to that trend line. We got to see what happens if support holds up. If it does, then, well, we can see ourselves moving up a little bit higher. I wouldn't be surprised to see this drift back downward towards staying in that range. I'm just going to see staying the range. 100 to 125, I think, is where we live for the next little while for NVIDIA. We'll see if today makes me wrong. And if it does, great, because I have NVIDIA stock myself. I do have a volatility play on this from earnings, by the way. So if we get big enough movement between now and next Friday, that can work out very handsomely for me in either direction. And if it doesn't move enough, well, then I probably lost a couple bucks in the process, but that's what happens when you play a coin flip like earnings. Let's move on. So SPY, we are sitting, well, we hit our heads on resistance at 560. We found support. Look at this, gorgeous support in this area down here. I may have expanded this support area. I'd made some changes to update my technicals. So I'd have to go back and look and see if this was one of the ones that I expanded a little bit. But I can tell you with the different retracement values, I did not change the retracement values that are in here, just would have expanded the green box. So nothing else really would have changed about that. We need to get back up above this resistance, back up above this 50-hour moving average that we have. And this trend line is going to be trouble for us because we can definitely hit our heads on that. We can head upward for a while, but we can still be capped off. And you can see we got pretty much 3 rejections right off the 562 to 563 line that's up here for you. So that's going to be very firm resistance for us for the upside for SPY. Getting up above it is probably going to give us a fair amount of energy that sends us up to the next one and potentially puts in new all-time highs if we're able to get up there in the first place. So moving on to the Qs. The Qs, wonderful support here. You can see bounced off this 23.6 at 466 throughout all that sell-off, especially in the post-market. And now we're traveling back up. Watch this trend line. I could probably draw it a little bit more beautifully. Now, mind you, they change a little bit as you have different different period charts that are on here because you see different peaks and stuff like that, especially as you go intraday. But this is going to be an important trend line for us to break up over that you see right here from this historical price action. We got to get back up over that for further price action, for further bullishness, and 480. Well, it's actually 479 to 483 is the range. I should actually put a red bar in here for resistance. That's been a tough area for us. So even if we are able to get above this trend line, that 479 to 483 is still the muck that we have to mire through to see further upside in the Qs. IWM, check out that trend line. Hitting our heads on it as well. And there's also some Fibonacci extension or retracement values that we have in here that are also going to act as resistance for us. So we'll see what happens in the next near while. If we can't get over the near resistances that we find ourselves at, then we're going to head lower today. If we break up above them, then we have more potential to stay up above them, in my opinion. So over to Bitcoin, just real quick, price target 57,598. I put that out in yesterday morning's video. And yesterday we had a bottom come in on this. Let me see where it's at. I can't totally see it. It was 57 something. Let me move that just a little bit and I'll be able to see it for you. That low price, 57,866. So pretty darn close to price target 1. I would stay still solid technicals on here today, looking a little bit green. We'll see if we recover to get to the bottom of this green box here. That's about 61,000. So we'll watch for that. Tesla, look at this. Yesterday, I put out price target of 204. What happened yesterday? We fell down to a low price on this of 202.59. Price target hit. We closed at 205.75. So still, like everything that I've been doing to adjust the way that I approach technical analysis took me from being like fairly good and somewhat specific sometimes to being really specific a lot of the times. And it's worked out beautifully so far. And I'm really excited about continuing to develop this, continuing to share it here on YouTube, and of course, sharing it with my community members at the Discord available through the Patreon. Like I said, guys, that link's down in the description. I share those technicals over there before I share them here at YouTube. It's just easier to get them out there. It's a better technology for just a quick push of that information. I can chat about it with the community members as well. They get to react to it. They get to see it. And they can also use that to inform what they do in the markets, even though none of it's advice. It is information that can be tossed in with the due diligence. And guys, if you want to learn about technical analysis trading, learn a very solid strategy that's been proven time and again to be very, very consistent in the way that it's able to find plays out there for bullish directions, for bearish directions, you name it. It's the bread recipe through Stockmo Academy. Find that link down in the description. That course will tell you how to set it up. It will tell you what indicators to use, how to read them, all of that kind of stuff, all tied up with a bow in one neat little package. Just use the code word doctor when you sign up, and it's going to save you a ton of cash when you do that. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. I really do appreciate it. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.